Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Jester Ranks Off. We are continuing with our Pokemon rankings, and these are Gen 2 Pokemon. Now, this is a generation I have played multiple times in the past. Am I going to remember everyone's names? Probably not, and that might affect where they get ranked. But for now, let's have a flick through. First of all, I'd like to thank Demogon. Oh god. Thank you very much for making this list. There are they. Please give them a follow. And thank you, Tier Maker, for letting us make these silly lists. Right, so let's make sure everyone's in frame. Perfect. Start, shall we? Chikorita. Bayleaf. Magnanium. Hell yeah. Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion. Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr. Centret, Forret, Hoot, Noctowl, Ladybur, Ladian. Spinarak, Eriados, Crobat, Chinchou, Lantern, Pichu, Cleffa, Igglybuff. Is it that one? Igglyduff? I don't know. Togepi, Togechick, Natu and Zatu, Mareep. I can't remember. I failed already. Ampharos, Bellossom, Marill, Azumarill, Sudowoodo, Politoed, Hoppip, Skiploom, Bellossom? Is that right? Or the other way around, maybe. I'm gonna feel really... No, it's not Bellossom, idiot. Jumpluff. There we go. Apom, Sunkern, Sunflora, Yanma, Wooper, Quagsire. I nearly said my girlfriend's name because that's her favourite Pokemon. Espeon, Umbreon, Murkrow, Slowking, Misdrevious, Unknown, yes, Wobbuffet, Giraffig, Pineco, yes, Fortress, Dunsparce. It's really a test of my knowledge. Gligar, Steelix, Snubble, Gramble, Quillfish, Scyther, I don't know how people pronounce it. I said I used to say Cypher and Skyzer or Skyzer. I'm going to say it wrong and upset somebody. Shuckle, Heracross, Sneasel, Teddiursa, and Ursaring. I think so. I can't. Slugma and Macargo. I think he's right. Swinub and Pillow-Swine, Corsola, Remoraid, Octillery, Delibird, Mantine, Skarmory, Houndour and Houndoom, Kingdra, Fanfi, Naffy, whatever you like to call them, Donphan, Polygon 2, Stantler, Smeagol, Tyrogue, Hitmonchan, no, Hitmontop, damn it, I'm going to get these names wrong all the time, Smoochum, I think, Electakid, Magby, Miltank, I can't remember the Chansey evolution, bigger Chansey, Raikou, Entei and Suicune, not Suicine as I used to call it. What is your name? You are a little bitch. Larvitar? No. Yes, I'm gonna go with Larvitar, Pupitar, and Tyranitar. I think that's right. Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Celebi, the Onion Pokemon. Perfect. We only took 3 minutes to do that. Right, let's get ranking, shall we? And let's start with Chikorita. Chikorita is an adorable little Pokemon. It's got a little leaf on its head. I'm a big fan of grass starters. Unfortunately, in Generation 2, and I'm not going to try and judge Pokemon too much by this, the grass type is actually the hard mode, because the first 2 gyms, I think, are like super effective against it, which sucks. Chikorita, though, itself, it's not quite a Bulbasaur, which is an absolute S tier. I'm going to give it an A tier for Chikorita. Following that, we have Bayleaf. Bayleaf is just Chikorita, but like... someone grabbed its tail, grabbed its head, stretched it out, and then bit its leaf. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to keep that in B tier. And Meganium is... I quite like Meganium. I don't like how the Bulbasaur line progresses, but I do like how the Chikorita line progresses. It's still not as cool and not as cute as Chikorita, so I'm going to keep Meganium in B, and I'm actually going to drop Bayleaf to C, because I think that's a more suitable place for it to be. If I keep saying Bayleaf and Meganium, if I've got this the wrong way around, don't tell me. Cyndaquil is also an A-tier starter. It's incredibly adorable. It kicks ass. It's a very cute little boy. He's usually my favourite choice as well, just because he's... I keep saying he. I know, it's terrible. But he looks like a he to me, and that's all that matters to me. Next, we have Quilava. Quilava doesn't look quite as cool as Cyndaquil. It's like a serious weasel. And I don't respect seriousness in my Pokemon. I want fun-loving, I want cute, but I also want kick-ass. And Quilava doesn't cover any of those bases. Typhlosion, on the other hand, for some reason loses the flame on the tail, but like gets much bigger, much stronger. I still don't know what Typhlosion is supposed to be. outside of the context of it being some kind of like stand-up weasel on fire. It's kind of cool, but not quite cool enough to make it into A tier, I don't think, so we'll keep it where it is. Totodile, I hate to say it, they're all A tier starters, the Gen 2 starters. Adorable little dude, he flaps about, he's crocodile, he's ready to munch on you. Adorable, fantastic, great. Croconaw, again, another B tier for me. Looks like it's in a shell, which is weird. I don't really know what's going on there. Looks a bit derpy compared to Totodile as well, so I'm quite happy to keep him there. But of all the final version of the starters, final evolutions, Feraligatr is an A tier Pokemon. He's a giant crocodile, alligator, dinosaur-looking beast. Ready to destroy your home, ready to destroy your enemies. I think he's actually my favourite final form of all the Gen 2 starters, so quite happy to leave him there. Centra, C tier Pokemon, he is constantly popping up in the early game. You hate to see it, it's a useless Pokemon. I don't know anybody who actively chooses to have a normal Pokemon in their group, except for maybe like a Zangoose, something that can learn like multiple cool moves. It's just a C tier Pokemon, it's not that great. It's good to have in the early game. By extension, Furret is an incredibly similar meme. Hoothoot is a B tier Pokemon. We're still not sure how many feet the Pokemon has. Very confused, but very adorable also. It's got the cool red eyes. It's probably one of your first flying Pokemon playing Gen 2 as well. So he's pretty cool for that reason. Unfortunately, his evolution Noctowl, while being a bigger owl, has the monobrow, and we don't respect the monobrow. It's an unfortunate look. Some people suffer with it. I, myself, sometimes have a bit of a monobrow that I need to sort out. I just check the camera just to make sure that it's not big enough for you to have a look at. Please don't zoom and enhance. But yeah, for me, it's a C tier. Ladybird it's okay. It's a ladybird Pokemon. There's not much to say about it. I think it's a C tier. But Ladian, still a ladybird, obviously, but it's got like a cool goggle effect going on. It's like it's ready to pilot a plane. If it wasn't flying itself, I think you'll like it'd be able to jump into a jet fighter and start taking the fight to any other Pokemon. While an unfair advantage, that's what happens when you have built-in goggles, so I'm quite happy to move Ladian up to a B tier. Now this might be me playing favourites, but Spinarak for me is an A tier. When I first saw this Pokemon back in 2001, I looked at it and went, that's a cute little spider Pokemon. And then I saw its stupid little face on the back and I was like, that is actually adorable. Look at it go. It's so powerful. Spinarak is an A tier Pokemon. Its evolved form Ariados is a bigger version of it and it just loses the cuteness factor. It's still kind of cool. It's got the yellow and purple aesthetic, which, you know, is a very good aesthetic. But yeah, it's not as cool as Spinarak. It's not as adorable. So we're quite happy to leave him there. Crobat for me used to be almost a D tier Pokemon because I didn't really respect him until I started using him a lot in later games. He's got a very cool look to him. He's almost got like a Gengar face, and as we know, Gengar is an S tier Pokemon. I still am very confused about what it does when it's not flying. Does it just fall to the ground and flop about? Does it have to perpetually fly, even while sleeping? It's a very confusing Pokemon. The mystery surrounding it does add an extra cool factor to it. But because of the lack of feet and being able to land, I can't help but leave it in A and not move it up to S. Chinchou was one of the first Pokemon that really intrigued me because it was like electric water. And I was like, wait, how does that work? Water's weak to electric. Is it weak to itself? Of course, that's not how things worked. But I was 10 years old and very confused by the world. I had a lot of things going on. There was puberty. There was girls were suddenly attractive. I was like, yo, boobs. And also, Chinchou, you're an electric water type. And Quagsire, earth, sorry, ground water. What the hell? Dual typing came at a very weird time in my life. I don't know where my priorities were in life. Was it dual typing? Was it puberty? I have no idea. Anyway, Chinchou. Chinchou, I don't really like it much as a Pokemon. It's kind of like weird looking, a bit dead looking as well because of the crosses on its eyes. And then leave that in C tier. And by extension, its evolved form is kind of derpy looking too. It's like, hey. And look, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone who's a bit of a der, but like, I just don't think it's that good of a Pokemon, if I'm honest. Pichu! When I first heard about Pichu, I was like, a baby Pikachu? Is that not just a smaller Pikachu? Pichu is a little adorable Pokemon. Unfortunately, it does share the issue that all baby Pokemon have, and they are incredibly weak and crappy. I don't think I want to put it as low as C, but it definitely doesn't deserve to be high up in the B tier. So I'm going to leave it in B and be happy with that. Cleffa is a C tier Pokemon. Again, it's just a Clefairy smaller. I don't really like Clefairy that much. And again, it was a normal type at this time, which is useless. Once it gained its fairy typing, it was kind of a bit more interesting, a bit more usable, but I've never liked the Clefairy line anyway. And Igglybuff is our first D tier Pokemon. What is going on? It's got, unlike the cool red eyes of Hoothoot, it's got like those dead soulless eyes. It's got a weird, like, I just don't like it. I've only got mean things to say, and as a rabbit once told me, if I've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Which would not make for a very good YouTube video, because I would be silent all the time. Togepi is another D tier Pokemon. Please remove that shell. What is going on under there? It shouldn't be part of your look. Togechick is also D tier. I just don't like the Togepi line, if you can't tell. I don't respect any Pokemon that, when evolved from an egg, still wear part of the egg. What's wrong with you? You don't. Shells don't offer a great amount of protection anyway, but how? That would be like me, or any other human, keeping the umbilical cord as some kind of, like, tail that can be used to climb through. That'd be amazing. Anyway, Togechick sucks, and so does its evolved form. Natu is kind of okay. It's a C tier Pokemon. It's like... Again, the anatomy of Pokemon has always fascinated me because it's a head with, like, wings, feet, and a top bit attached. What's going on there? It's just bizarre to me. But its evolved form, Zatu, as discussed in a previous video, is a hieroglyph. What is cooler than being part of a language? You know what I mean? It's awesome. Welcome to the A tier, Zatu. I'm noticing, like, there's no S tier Pokemon so far, but don't worry, we'll get to them. Mareep is a sheep, and he's kind of electric. I do enjoy Mareep. It's quite a cute Pokemon. It's one of your first electric types that you're going to get. In fact, it is your first electric type you'll probably get playing the Gen 2 game. It's not a cool looking Pokemon, but, you know, it probably deserves its spot there. We'll keep it at B. Its evolved form, which is still stressing me out because I can't figure out what it is. You know what? I'm just gonna cheat. I found it. Flaffy. Flaffy is... I don't like it. I mean, it's showing its naked self. It had fur. It was covered in fur a minute ago. And now it's like, I'm going to evolve, completely change colour for some reason, and lose half of my wool. That makes no sense to me. D tier. Ampharos is... Do you know what? I struggle with Ampharos, because clearly it's an electric sheep line. What the fuck is it? What is that? That's not a sheep. But it looks like it tried to evolve into a kangaroo but forgot to get a pouch. I don't like it. D tier. Blossom. We do have the issue of disrespecting any Pokemon that use dancing as a thing. I don't like dancing Pokemon. Tieno, you suck. I'll repeat that rhetoric every time I see a dancing Pokemon. But it is a grass poison type, and grass types are pretty cool. And you know, it's not an offensive design like some Pokemon are. It's like, you just completely modeled yourself after, you know, your one gimmick. It's probably a C tier Pokemon, Blossom. Marill. Marill was like a weird Pokemon that like effed everybody up early on when Pokemon Silver and Gold was getting revealed, because like, oh, was that a blue Pikachu? I can see where they were coming from, obviously, but no, Marill's quite a cool Pokemon. Gained a fairy typing after Generation 2. Or way after Generation 2, I should say. I'm struggling to come up with reasons why Marill doesn't belong in A, maybe S tier. It's one of my favourite water Pokemon. If I've got a standard setup in a lot of games. I always want to try and cover the bases of every typing to counter them. I'd usually choose Cyndaquil, maybe choose Chikorita as my starter. I never chose Totodile. As cool as Totodile's final form is, I never chose Totodile. Marill was always one of my favourite water types if it wasn't a Gyarados, which, you know, if you're playing Gen 2 games, you were picking red Gyarados after a while. But Marill, I think, is an A tier Pokemon. He's an adorable little boy. He's doing his best, and he's just a ball of fun. Next up is Azeel Marill. Not quite as cool as Marill. Looks like an Easter egg, which at the time of recording is one of the things that just makes me angry at the moment. Playing a lot of Animal Crossing, the eggs are like, ugh, collect the eggs, ruin your life, it's not as fun anymore. Yeah, I think we're quite happy to leave him there as the Easter egg looking... He's an Easter egg bunny, basically, an Easter bunny looking Pokemon. But water, which has always perplexed me, I don't know why. Sudowoodo, it took until, literally, maybe this year, late last year, to realise that Sudowoodo was a pun. It's pseudo, as in not real or fake. Wood? Oh? It's not real wood, it's a rock. Listen, it blew my mind. I was absolutely amazed by that. But it is a wood Pokemon that looks like a tree. I don't like things that lie to me. I just don't enjoy the Pokemon as a concept anyway. It's a D-tier Pokemon. Politoed is a one of the first rooted off Pokemon. Is that that's not right phrasing? Like evolution, diversion? I don't know. Politoed is what Poliwhirl can evolve into using a King's Rock, I believe. It's a cool... I don't use it as much as I wish I did. It's a very cool looking Pokemon, Politoed. Its shiny form is blue and pink, which is kind of baller. I'm quite happy to leave Mr. Politoed, or Mrs. Politoed, in A tier. Hoppip is an annoying little shit who is grass water type and just does splash constantly until it learns a new move. That is a D tier Pokemon. Skiploom is no better. Jumpluff is also terrible. There you go, the entire chain done it incredibly quickly. Aipom has a... remember the tail I mentioned, if we kept the umbilical cord? He has a tail, but also has a hand. He can slap you with his tail. If that's not an S tier Pokemon, I don't know what is. It's incredibly cool. I do like his Mega Evolution, although we're not ranking Mega Evolutions just yet. Sunkern is just a sunflower seed, which, you know, if you get killed by one of those, that's kind of impressive. It's not visually offensive, but I don't really like it that much. But its evolved form, which is Sunflora, is actually really cool. I really enjoy Sunflora. It's just a happy, sentient sunflower. It's what Bellsprout could have looked like if it wasn't sucking pee-pee. I think we're quite happy with Sunflora in the A tier. Remember earlier when we talked about cool Pokemon wearing goggles like Ladian? Yanma's another one. Yanma is the jet fighter in which Ladian would ride into battle on. It's not my favourite Pokemon, but it is pretty cool looking. I quite like it as a thing. It's very hard to catch in Pokemon Go though, I will say that much. Whoop 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 Wooper is again groundwater type, grass type, 4 times effective. You'd love to see it. Wooper is all day an S tier Pokemon. He's just cool. He's just bouncing around the world, having a great time. He's got a very derpy smile. It's like, I like him. He's great. Quagsire by extension. You know, they tried to make it a thicker Wooper, which, you know, you don't want an evolution that doesn't look like a you know, at least slightly different. I don't think Quagsire is quite as cool as Wooper, so I'm quite happy to leave him in B tier for now. Now here is some controversial opinions. Here's Espeon, the 4th and 5th, or Espeon and Umbreon, sorry, the 4th and 5th evolutions of Eevee. Espeon isn't really a Pokemon I used all that much. It was a Psychic type, so I was like, you know, I can get a Psychic type anyway, again, Abra early on in the game. I think I'm quite happy to, you know, for my girlfriend, because she'll kill me if I don't at least put it in A tier, we're going to put Espeon in A tier, but let it be known that that's not my personal choice. The Pokemon I always went for was Umbreon, because Dark types were new in Generation 2, and it was like, yo, gotta get a Dark type, see what they're all about. It's not the coolest looking Pokemon, but it is the most, like, chill Pokemon. It's like, you know, there's nothing special about my design. It's black and yellow, which is a very cool combination, but whatever, dude, pick me if you want. I think Umbreon is an A tier Pokemon also. Murkrow, we've had this conversation before. Any Pokemon that looks like it's wearing a hat, you know, if you can't tell, I'm a big fan of. I also like crows. I also like birds in general. Murkrow was again a dark type, which I was like, yo, I've got to have it. Dark flying, hell yeah, brother. He is all day an S tier Pokemon. Slowking, again, was another branched off... Branch, that's the word, not root. It was another branch evolution Pokemon. Or was it? Was it Slowbro then Slowking? I think it was. It was just a new evolution, sorry, my bad. But, you know, referencing the rooting thing earlier, it was branching. Anyway, Slowking, again, now wearing a hat. Got a cool, like, frilly thing going on there. Not really sure what that's all about, but, yo, I'm quite happy to put Slowking in the A tier. It's a hat. It's great. I love it. Misdrevious. I don't remember liking Misdrevious all that much. I was never a big fan of Pokemon that had no evolution. It was like a weird, like, issue that I had with Pokemon. I don't know why. I was just odd. Misdrevious is a kind of cool looking Pokemon. I can see if you wanted like a new ghost type, you'd absolutely go for Misdrevious. In fact, correct me if I'm discorrect, but is Misdrevious the only new ghost type in Generation 2? He says, with an inflection? It might be, actually. So yeah, I guess it was like your default choice if you wanted a new ghost type. So, yo, Misdrevious being brand new, you're up to A tier. Unknown. I don't know anybody who had Unknown in their party. It always felt a bit weird to have an Unknown in your party. The Hidden Power thing was like the only move it had for a good while. I don't know if it learned any more moves. I can't remember. I haven't played the game in years. Unknown came in every letter of the alphabet. Murdo made a joke the other day that he's surprised that I didn't rank letters of the alphabet. Now, if I'm going to, I'll do it in Unknown form. And I actually had a different tier list earlier that like had every form of Unknown on it, and I was like, do I go forward with this and just like rank every version of Unknown? I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna do that, but I will rank Unknown itself. It's not the greatest Pokemon, but it represents every letter of the alphabet, and here at Jethtainment in the year 2020, we're all about representation. We'll keep it at B tier. Wobbuffet comes in the two genders, no lipstick and lipstick. I've never been a big fan of Wobbuffet. Destiny Bond, if you were going against them, was one of the worst goddamn moves that has ever existed in the entirety of the Pokemon franchise, basically. The only thing that saves it from like a C or D tier is the fact that it goes Wobbuffet, and you hear that all the time watching the anime. So I'm quite happy to leave Wobbuffet in the B tier. Giraffig was a very underrated Pokemon for me. I think he was quite, again, single evolution, so I never really used him, but I think he was a great Pokemon. It's like the duality of Giraffe. You've got the cute side over here, and then the evil side over here. Because you might think giraffes are cool and cute. I've seen videos where they beat each other to death with their own heads. It's kind of scary. But Giraffig itself, I think, belongs in the A tier. Very cool new psychic Pokemon for that generation. Pineco was just a pine cone with eyes, which as far as design is concerned is not the greatest. Catching it was annoying because it was constantly trying to explode. But I'm going to put it in C tier, and I'll tell you for why. Fortress? What is it supposed to be? It's like someone went, you know, like Cloyster Pokemon? The Shelder Pokemon? What if we did a weird, like, bug version of that? And someone went, alright, what's it going to look like? It's going to look like Shelder, but, like, not as cool. And they're like, go ahead. I don't understand what they're doing with Fortress. I don't really know what it's supposed to be based on. I'm sure if I went to Google, it would be like, it's the Bagworm Pokemon. And I'd be like, still don't give a shit. Dunsparce! Dunsparce is a weird one. Again, it's a normal type that I don't remember many people ever using. Looks like it's constantly asleep. Apparently, as far as size is concerned, it's like a giant-ass Pokemon. It's like significantly bigger than you'd expect it to be. Because you look at it and think, it's probably like a bug size. Apparently it's huge. Unfortunately, Pokemon aren't real, so I can't really show you a representation next to me. But Dunsparce, bit of a meh Pokemon. Doesn't really interest me. It's not offensive, so it doesn't belong in D. But yeah, I think we're fine for C. Gligar, again, another Pokemon I don't remember using all that much. Very cool design though. It's a flying Scorpion Pokemon. And what's more deadly than a Scorpion? Scorpion that can fly. It's not my first choice for a Pokemon. Its shiny form is purple though, which is very, very baller. I'm gonna give Gligar an A tier. Again, not to upset anybody in my community, Steelix is gonna go straight into A tier. Very, very cool looking Pokemon, in all fairness. It was one of the first Steel Pokemon I think you may come across. It's the evolved form of Onix, and Onix is kind of like it's an alright Pokemon, it's fine. It's probably one of my favourite rock types to use. Steelix was quickly one of my favourite steel types to use. Hard to get though back in the day, because you had to trade with someone else who had a Game Boy Color and, you know, an Onix and a metal coat, and, you know, I had no friends, so I never really got a Steelix. We're a very long time. Anyway, Steelix is an A tier Pokemon. Snubbull is... You know what, my opinion on Snubbull has changed in recent years, mostly because of Detective Pikachu. I still don't like Pokemon that look overly girly, but that's just me being a sexist man-pig. I think it definitely belongs in B tier for now. Granbull, on the other hand. Look, it's a fanged bulldog that's ready to stomp you. Also, confusingly, a fairy type. Still don't know how that has happened. Very confused by that. But Granbull, I think, is definitely an A tier Pokemon. Quillfish is a pufferfish with like weird-ass lips. That's a D tier Pokemon all day. Sizer. We're going to go with Sizer. Evolved form of Cypher, which is an absolute S tier Pokemon. I actually build a lot of my groups around having Sizer as like a main element of it. When Mega Evolution was introduced, that was like my main choice for a Mega Evolution Pokemon. Sizer itself, I liked Cypher because of like the blade arms and stuff like that. Any Pokemon that has like weaponry as part of its design is kind of cool. Sizer still has weaponry, but it's now like these red snappers. So, is it now a crab Pokemon? I don't know, but Sizer isn't quite as cool as Cypher, but still an A tier Pokemon for me. Shuckle, you don't fuckle with Shuckle? It's fine. A lot of people are like love Shuckle, and I understand why you love Shuckle. It's, you know, it's cool looking Pokemon, but it's not my favorite. Is it Bug Rock type? Yeah, I don't really enjoy Shuckle as much as most people do, and I'm sure that's going to offend probably Raven. But yeah, no, I'm going to keep that in B tier. Heracross is also going to stay in B tier. I don't like it much as a design. It's just a big ass stag beetle that is like bipedal. There's not much to say about it really. Sneasel is a cool A tier Pokemon. It's a weasel with sharp claws, and again, we were talking about it. It's a very odd looking Pokemon though, because it's got like one ear, and then like one like, it almost looks like a ripped off ear that got replaced with a feather. Every Sneasel has that, so I've got to assume it's not, you know, some kind of issue that it was born with or something like that. It's literally part of the design, so it's always confused me a little bit, but Sneasel's a very cool A tier Pokemon. Teddy Ursa is a cutie, an absolute cutie patootie, straight up into A tier. Ursaring is a big ass cool bear looking dude. If you're into bears, then fair enough, you crack on. I'm gonna leave B in the I'm gonna leave the bear in the B tier, the Ursaring tier. That's quite fine there. Fire Slug, don't like slugs. Fire Snail, do like snails, but a bit of a meh design, so we're gonna leave that in C. We're having the issue again where we're losing the list. There we go. Swinub is an okay Pokemon. There's nothing that impressive about it, really. I don't really like it. It's not, again, not a visually offensive design. I do like its cute little pig nose. To be fair, it's going to move it up to B tier for me. Its evolved form, Piloswine, is kind of a meh Pokemon too. I've never liked the design of like hair being over the eyes like that, because it always annoys me, because I'm like, how do they see? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's just a big, oversized Swinub, which I don't really like. I do like its evolved form after that, but that's not part of this generation. Do like the Tusks. The Tusks are a cool addition, but we'll keep that in B tier. Corsola, I'm not a big fan of the pink and white Pokemon. It's just, I don't know. There's nothing I can say that's good about this Pokemon. If you step on it, you might break it. That's probably all I've got. Remoraid is just a derpy ass looking dumb Pokemon. Do not like it. Octillery is a kind of cool looking Pokemon. I do like its mouth being a shooter. A cannon is probably the right word. I do like octopus Pokemon as well, so that's quite cool. Delibird, again, as discussed, if you like Christmas, it's an AS tier. If you don't like Christmas, it's a CD tier. I'm going to leave it in B tier because it's a cool looking bird. It's got a beard, and that's pretty baller. Mantine. I kind of like Mantine. Do I like it enough to put it into A tier? I don't think so. It's good. It's not like the most coolest design, but it's pretty chill. I don't think it's offensive. It looks like it glides through the skies while jumping out of water. Yeah, I quite like it being in B tier. Skarmory, it's not my favorite design in the world. Again, it's probably one of the Pokemon I picked quite quickly because it was a steel flying type. Visually, it's not a fun Pokemon. It's not supposed to be, really, is it? It's a vicious metal bird. Metal bird. But no, Skarmory I think is in a C tier. Houndour is fine. It's like, you know what? It's unfair to put it straight into C tier. Houndour is like a fire dark dog, which again was like a good combo. If I didn't have a Cyndaquil, I was always gonna pick. Houndour. Houndoom, by the way, absolute A tier Pokemon. It's a devil dog. It's a hellhound. It's so cool looking. It's nearly S tier, to be honest. But listen, we're not gonna say we completely support that kind of demonic behavior. But hail Satan. Next up is Kingdra. I'm not a big fan of Kingdra. Seadra is really cool. It's a very cool design, Seadra. I think Kingdra, they kind of like took away a bit of the edge. Maybe try to give it more of a regal look, which would make sense with being called Kingdra. I'm going to leave Kingdra in the B tier. Let's talk about Phanpy. Phanpy is adorable. It's a little elephant. How can you hate A tier? Now, its evolved form. Oh, where's he gonna put it? Where's he gonna put it? Its evolved form is an S tier Pokemon. I love the squashed elephant look. He's a very cool Pokemon. Made it into my team a fair few times. I love the design on him. He's very cool looking. Porygon is just Polygon. Porygon? It's just Porygon, but like rounded off. It's like someone took away the edge, literally. I don't really like Porygon much as a Pokemon anyway, so into C tier for you. Stantler, once again, normal type that not many people would have used. I don't like its like bulbous face. I'm not really a big fan of that design. I do like the eyes for the antlers though. It's very cool. What I don't like is it using hypnosis on me constantly when I'm trying to catch it. So that is a C tier Pokemon. Smeagol, if you use it's like an artist dog, and dog Pokemon are pretty cool. We all know this. Has a move called Sketch, which it learns every 10 levels from level 1, which basically lets it repeat. It basically like takes the last move that got used against it and then keeps it permanently. So you can teach a Smeagol to be really cool. It's also a very good capture Pokemon as well. So I'm going to put you up into A tier. Tyrogue became the baby version of the Hitmon family, which is Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, Hitmontop, which we'll cover next. I don't like Tyrogue so much as the other Pokemon in that family. So I'm going to put that in C tier. But Hitmontop is pretty damn cool. I mean, in fact, he's going up to A tier. I don't understand. Again, this is like Pokemon anatomy, etc., etc. I don't understand how it constantly spins on its head and doesn't get dizzy and fall over, but I respect the Pokemon that can do that. Smoochum, straight into D tier. I don't like Jynx. It's a dumb looking Pokemon. Don't like it. Elekid is quite cool. He's into B tier. He's got like the head bit there, obviously. It looks like a power socket. I don't know if you should plug an Elekid in. I don't know if it would power anything for you, but you know, the options are there. Magby, again, has got that weird bulbous design that Magmar has, and I don't really like the design of that, so I'm going to throw that into C tier and just call it done. Miltank, it's a meme at this stage, but Miltank is a Pokemon used by the third gym leader. Knows rollout and can just demolish a Pokemon if it gets going. I don't really like its design so much. I do like the freedom of the udders. It's just like, yo, check these out. And I'm like, alright, fair enough. It is a C tier Pokemon though, in all fairness. I remember the name, Blissey, I think. Blissey is, again, a bit of a girly design Pokemon. I'm not a fan of it. It's got a very small face for the size of its body. And again, anything with a small face can't be trusted. Looking at some of these other Pokemon, and some of them may suffer from the same fate, so just keeping an eye on those. Raikou, I still don't really like Raikou all that much. I just don't like the weird shit that's going on with its back and its mismatch of colours and stuff like that, so I'm going to leave that in C tier. Entei is absolutely an S tier Pokemon all day. Very cool, even though it's one of the legendary dogs, it's very lion-esque aesthetic. It does have some weird stuff on its back, but it doesn't look as weird as Raikou's, so I'm quite happy to leave him up there. And Suicune is, I'm going to put them in A tier. It's not my favourite. I do like the purple that's going on. It's very fast, very quick, but again, not a big fan of the design. Larvitar is a bit of a boring Pokemon. It's just like, you know, your standard pre-evolution for that dragon line. Pupitar is just Metapod, but listened to a punk album once. And And Tyranitar, you know what, you probably deserve a B tier. I think B tier is perfectly fine for a Tyranitar. It's nothing special. It's not my favourite of like the dragon lines that exist in Pokemon, but we'll leave it there. Lugia, again, all the way up to S tier. Very cool Pokemon. Has wings that look like giant hands, ready to give you the biggest hug and high five ever. Not the moment, of course, social distancing and all, but, you know, the option is there in the future. Ho-Oh, I mean, on a design perspective, it's a giant flaming peacock. It's not my favourite design in the world. It's probably going to be a C tier for Ho-Oh. Bit of a dumb name as well, but I'm sure somebody will say, that's offensive, you can't call that name dumb. And Celebi, I don't have any in-game interaction with Celebi. I've never played Crystal, which I should. It's a cute design. It looks like an onion. It's not quite as cool and good as the rest of those in A, so I'm going to leave Celebi in B for now, and I think I'm quite happy with that list. So, I'm not going to go through them all because there's a lot of Pokemon here, but let me just do the top 2 tiers, just so you guys can see. In S tier, we have Aipom, Wooper, Murkrow, Donphan, Entei, and Lugia. A tier is Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Feraligatr, Spinarak, Crobat, Zaytu, Marill, Politoed, Sunflora, Yanma, Espeon, Umbreon, Slowking, Mischievous, Giraffig, Gligar, Steelix, Gramble, Sizer, Sneasel, Teddiursa, Houndoom, Fanfi, Smeargle, Hitmontop, and Suicune. If you agree or disagree with any of these, please let me know in the comments below or yell at me on stream, as so many people often do. If you want to make your own, I'll try and remember to put the link in the description below. Thanks once again to Tier Maker for letting us make these lists, and thank you very much to Demogon for making this list as well. Please go follow them. If you enjoyed this video, do let me know, because I do like making these Jester Rank Off videos. But for now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to see more of it live, twitch.tv/jestertainment. See more of these videos, youtube.com/jesterondemand. And see what I'm ranting about this week, twitter.com/jestertainment_. If you want to support the channel, there are many links in the description below. But if you're subscribing and watching these videos, you're doing a great job, and thank you so much. And the best thing you can do to support the channel is let a friend know, get more eyes on the channel. It'd be great to have more people along. But for now, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you in the next one. See ya.
Goodbye.